Trump ordered the Fed to start buying mortgages again, or mortgage-backed securities. $200 billion he's ordered them to start buying. And I think this is I think this is actually bigger than the tax thing. It's just, but I also think most people don't understand what it means, right? I think this is just,
When you're talking about adding liquidity into the market, right?
yeah, right. I
Yeah,
mean,
and so
the
that
Fed
means more
increasing
cash
their balance.
available.
What's that?
Yeah, and that's going to make it easier for people to have access to liquidity, right?
Well, actually, it's a
Well,
little bit different than that. It's not so the act of the government buying its own bonds will increase the demand for those bonds temporarily, which will drive the yield down on those bonds, which makes it, which directly affects mortgage rates. So if the average mortgage rate is 6.5% right now, and the cost of funds, the bond yield is 4.5%. By buying $200 million worth of bonds, the yield will drop to say 4%, and mortgage rates can drop correspondingly. However, it's temporary. If the market will react to that today, but if they don't see it as a long-term buying, then there'll be a spring back to the old mortgage
Yeah.
rates. So
But that means that there may be a period coming up where if you wanted to buy a house or refinance with a lower interest rate, you may have that opportunity. So, but those things usually happen sometimes quickly in terms of, weeks and months. So if now is the time to consider, like, if that were to happen, would I want to buy or refinance a house? Do I have a relationship with a mortgage broker? Should I be talking? Like, it's because, for at least for me in earlier in my life, I wasn't paying attention to these things. I didn't kind of see them coming. And so I wasn't ready to take advantage of those opportunities when they showed up. And so I think this is our call out to the listener, like, hey, if these are things that are on your radar, if you want to sell a house, it's easier to sell a house for a higher price with lower interest rates. It's easier to buy a house with lower interest rates. And so being ready for those things can be helpful.